Welcome dear student for HSC online lecture initiative taken by Shet Vidya Mandir English High School and Junior College of Science and Commerce. I am Ms. Ragini Singh, Assistant Lecturer of Biology, and today we are starting with a new chapter that is very important and related to your biodiversity, conservation and environmental issues. And today's subtopic is biodiversity. Now before I start, I request you all to be seated with your book, write down today's date and let's do some revision related to our environment. I am showing you all the few pictures. Observe that pictures and identify it. The first picture, this is the second and finally the third one. The first picture, here you can see that the ladies are basically hugging the trees and that is Chipko movement. The second picture, it's very familiar, a national park located at the Borivali and that is Sanjay Gandhi National Park. And the last one is a declared sanctuary which is called as and it is situated at Bhandup, which we call it as a Bhandup pumping station. So these are the three unique things related to our nature and in our vicinity as well. What is biodiversity? It is a part of nature which includes the differences in the genes among the individuals of a species, the variety and richness of all plants and animals, species at different scales in a space, local regions, country and the world, and the types of ecosystem both terrestrial and aquatic within a defined area. In simple term, biodiversity is nothing but the diversity related to the life. Now if you look at the first image, you can see the different biodiversity in the water zone and in second the different biodiversity with respect to the jungles. So this is the variation with respect to the life form defining the area, that is whether they are in aquatic, terrestrial or aerial. Levels of biodiversity. The very first is genetic biodiversity. If you look at these pictures, you can find out there are so many diversity with respect to the corn kernel, that is the seed of this maize plant. Whereas even if you take a very common example of the plant, that is the fruit, rather I can say is the banana, in that also you can find out many variety. So genetic diversity means it belongs to a same group of species but they are having many varieties in it. Even if you talk about we human being, we are also example of the genetic biodiversity. If you look at this plant with this red color cherries in that, it is a Rauwolfia plant which also shows the many genetic diversity. Next is species diversity. The species diversity, it means you are talking about a one particular group of species. Example, frog. In that frog also you can find many different varieties of frog. You talk about starfish, you talk about simply that is the fishes. In the fishes we see many types. You see goldfish, you see the whale, you see shark, etc. So all this relate to the species biodiversity. Next is ecosystem biodiversity. Now what is this ecosystem biodiversity? Here you can find out that if you are talking about the forest. Now forest can be rainforest, it can be mangrove, even you talk about the estuary or you talk about the coral reef. Look at this diagram. This is the Leh Ladakh, whereas this is the run of Kutch. In both these places you will find out the different varieties of organisms, animals, people staying, their habitats, their culture, everything is very different. Similarly, if you talk about the forest, the place which is receiving the maximum amount of light, we call it as tropical forest. The halophytes, that is the place where the amount of salt concentration is more, that is called as the halophytes, and the plants that is growing over there are called mangroves. If you talk about estuary, what is the estuary? Where the fresh water and the marine water mixes, it's called as the estuary. And finally is the coral reef, which is found below the depth of the sea water. So all these are the ecosystem biodiversity. The diversity of life at all these three levels is now rapidly being modified by modern man, and thus it it is impacting the environment or rather ecosystem. Patterns of biodiversity. The very first pattern is latitudinal and altitudinal gradients. If you talk about the latitudinal and altitudinal gradients, we can see the hierarchy in the difference of the biodiversity, that is place which is near to the equator have different habitat at the time it reaches to the poles. Can you identify which forest it is? It is a very well known forest rich in the heritage, diversity and varied species. It is Amazon rainforest. Whereas when you talk about the polar region, the organism that you find or the animals that you find is this penguins, whereas you even find this polar bear. So this is about the Amazon rainforest, where you can find out the different varieties of birds, plants, trees, insects, whereas in the polar region you find only either penguins or the polar bear. It means diversity is more in the Amazon forest than compared to the polar region. Your next is loss of biodiversity. You can see in the today's time there is a loss of biodiversity, and what are the causes of the loss of this biodiversity? Let's see and understand. Very first is habitat loss and fragmentation. You can see industrialization, you can see pollution, and all these things are nothing but they are basically man-made. The one of the most important is related to this cutting down of the forest, and once the trees have been cut down, what is the scene? The level of carbon dioxide in the environment increases, and if the level of carbon dioxide in the environment increases, of course it is going to impact the health. So very first thing is habitat loss and fragmentation, the peculiar reason for the loss of the biodiversity. Second is overexploitation. Now why does this overexploitation is taking place? But obvious, the very first thing is due to human activity. Look at this bird, the bird is dodo bird. Second is Steller sea cow, and the third is passenger pigeon. Now this dodo bird, Steller sea cow and passenger pigeons were actually been extincted because of the activity of human beings. Yes, the dodo birds, they are the flightless bird, they cannot fly, and for the human beings they were very easy to kill and to eat their meat, and that's the reason dodo birds, Steller sea cow and passenger pigeons you cannot see, and they are extinct at present. So this is over exploitation, that instead of keeping some percentage for the further future development or for the future purpose, they have killed them on a very, very large scale. Next is, look at this. If you observe this picture, you find that this is a clip taken from the movie and it represents nothing but alien. So what happens when the alien species invasion takes place? That is when you actually plant the exotic species. The very first example is the Parthenium grass, also called as Congress grass, and this we have studied in the chapter of reproduction in plants. Second is this Lantana camara. Now this Parthenium grass or the Congress grass, it's a gift from the Congress government to us, because after the post-independence, when India was facing a shortage of the foods, that is wheat, rice and everything, the food was actually imported from the foreign countries, and because of which there was a presence of even weed, that is this Parthenium. It is acting as a weed, which is nothing but it is an unwanted plant material, and when the farmer started sowing the rice wheat seeds, along with this Parthenium weed also started growing. It was actually the responsibility of the government to check the quality of the imported seeds, but they did not. And this Lantana camara, it's actually the gift from the Britishers, because when you grow this plant, it grows as a wild. It looks very, very beautiful. It's actually a very beautiful plant, and to this plant, or rather I can say it's a weed, the butterflies are being attracted. Thus your garden looks very beautiful, but it is actually exotic and it is a toxic element to our indigenous plants. Look at this river. It is a Lake Victoria. It is a Lake Victoria. In this Lake Victoria, Nile perch fish was introduced, and once this Nile perch fish was introduced, it started eating all the small fishes. Thus the small fishes, that is the cichlid fish, they started getting extinct. So even if you are introducing any alien species, you need to be very much aware that your natural habitat or the natural organisms or the animals or the plants that is present in that ecosystem is not been impacted. And if you see at this Nile perch fish, the size it's actually very big, and this small fishes won't be able to survive in the presence of such an alien species. If you talk about these organisms, can you see this organism in today's time? No. Why? Because they have become extinct. So next reason is the co-extinctions. When you talk about the co-extinctions, the very first thing that comes to your mind is the dinosaur. But yes, the dinosaur was killed because of the natural reason. Their huge body, their large weight was not suitable for this ecosystem. But if you observe in the today's time, the many thing has been killed because of the man-made activities. I hope till now everything was very clear to you all. Now it's a time for test your brain. The very first question is, mention any two levels of biodiversity. You can take your time, pause the video, write down the answers, and then you can check the answers. The two levels of biodiversity is the genetic and the species biodiversity. Second question is, give two examples of alien species invasion, and that is Parthenium and Lantana camara. Your third question is, how did dodo bird got extinct? Was it a natural or was it a man-made? Answer to this question is man-made extinction. Please take down your assignment. What is the ballast water and how it can bring about introduction of alien species into an ecosystem? And your second question is, explain how loss of species diversity can harm ecosystem. You have to refer your 12th standard textbook, or else you can even refer to the internet. I hope this module was pretty helpful to you all. Thank you for attending this module. We will be again coming back with the next module of this chapter. Thank you.